wanted to win, and I wanted to be the best version of myself, bring the best out of myself to help a team succeed, and that's what I always looked at. So when people talk to me about certain goals or assists, the only thing that matters is did we win, right? And that was really at the end of the day.
The Sutter boys, here they are, the two of them. So we will say hello. How about the kid brother? Did you help him along all year?
Don't have to help him. He's got here by himself, and he'll stay here by himself.
I was actually working that day. I worked for a gas company north of our hometown Viking, and it was 10:30 in the morning, and my boss came out and said, "Hey, you're wanted on the phone." I went in, and it was Mr. Torrey, and he said that the Islanders would pick you in the 17th pick overall, and it was so crazy because in May, I'd watched the Islanders win their first Stanley Cup, and Brother Dwayne was on the team, obviously, and he'd be 18 years of age by June 11th. I turned 18 on June 10th. So I made the draft by one day. And then I got picked, same pick as Dwayne was, so it was unique for sure. The first day of training camp, being so nervous, and I got sick in the training room. You know, you might be calm on the outside, but the inside you are tearing yourself up, and I certainly was at that point, of course, being a Stanley Cup winners and all these guys you're in such awe of, right? And but now it's okay, you got to be like one of them. You got to go out and you got to compete against them, play against them, and that was certainly a big eye-opener.
As a kid coming from Western Canada, he brought that hard work ethic, the Sutter mentality. For us, we loved it. You know, it didn't matter who he was playing with. He played hard-nosed hockey, and he's gonna try to sting the other team whenever he could.
The game's first star was Brent Sutter. He had a couple of goals tonight and generally was a pain in the neck.
He was a fun guy to watch, having another Sutter join the team and to watch how he plays and what's different about him than Dwayne. It was fun, and Brent was a guy that wasn't scared of the corners, wasn't scared to go to the front of the net. He worked hard. He was a real smart hockey player.
That first playoff run, that really probably more so than anything defined me as a player and what I learned through that, because we were playing the Rangers. I was carrying the puck out of the zone.
Brent Sutter. Stolen by McClanahan. Score!
Rob McClanahan from the Rangers stripped me of the puck and went in and scored on Smitty, and they ended up winning the game 5-4. And I knew better. I never seen another regular shift the rest of the playoffs. When you're on the bench, you learn from the game. You watch. And I learned a lot. And then we got into the finals, and it was game 2. And we're playing the Canucks at home. And we had a power play. It was about halfway through the second period. And there's a face-off. Al come down and tapped me in the shoulder and said, "Go take Trotch off the ice." And I kind of looked at him like, "Are you kidding me?" You know, like, and he goes, "Go take Trotch off the ice." So I went and I tapped Trotch. He turned around, tapped me in the pads. And then I got a regular shift from that point on.
Brent Sutter goes after Williams on the end board. Brent Sutter, that just amazed at his tenacity and his strength and his determination. He is very, very good in the corners, got a pretty good touch around the net.
We were in the dressing room, and we'd won Stanley Cup, and guys are in there and obviously celebrating. And Ron Waskey, our medical trainer, came and said, "Hey, Radar wants to see you outside." We're looking around, and guys are celebrating. We just won the Stanley Cup. And like, well, what does he want to talk to me about or whatever? And so I go out and stand there, and Al's standing there, and he grabs me. He says, "What did you learn from all this?" And I'm like, I didn't know what to say, right? Like, you were in the dressing room celebrating, just won the Stanley Cup. And he goes, "Well, I'll tell you what you learned." He said, "I just made you one of the toughest players in the National Hockey League, and you're going to have a long career, son." And then he gave me a big hug. But I never forgot that. Every time you go through some tough times, I thought back to that. And it was a key moment for my career for sure.
Johnson passes to Brent Sutter, tipping it in. Dwayne Sutter after the puck. Here's Brent Sutter going in on goal. He scores!
Brent Sutter, 20-year-old from Viking, Alberta, the hero in game number 2 with 2 goals and 1 assist.
New York Islanders have won.
obviously tremendous honor. You know, from when I first started there 44 years ago. You look back on your career and it's everything else, everybody, all the other relationships that you form while you're on the island with, you name it, with your teammates, with the teammates' families, neighbors, the fans, tremendous fans. They were awesome, and it's what allowed me to be who I was a player. Allowed us to start our family there. It's like it became our second home. It was a great experience. I look back at all those things now and how every little bit of that transformed me into who I was as a player and probably as a person too.
Well, Jigs, they often say a captain has to lead by example, and today we had the perfect example, Brent Sutter.